Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about and going over an article that I read from Screen Rant, which gave 10 reasons as to why Daryl Dixon is The Walking Dead's best spinoff. I'll give you guys my thoughts about that whole thing towards the end of the video on which spinoff I think is the best and everything. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video, and I wanted to make it after Daryl Dixon Season 2 ended just because, we have a good sample size now for what Daryl Dixon is, and I think it was really important to wait till after Season 2 concluded. So here we go. 10 reasons Daryl Dixon is The Walking Dead's best spinoff. Number 10, Daryl Dixon has really strong pacing. The show perfectly builds its story over each episode. So yeah, I think Daryl Dixon does have very good pacing. I think it's very balanced. I think during season 1 at points, it was really, really fast and then also kind of slowed down. And the same thing kind of happened with season 2. But I think overall season 2 had pretty solid pacing. But personally, I really enjoyed the super fast pace of The Ones Who Live. I thought it was really, really refreshing. So I think I enjoyed The Ones Who Live pacing a little bit better. Number 9, Daryl Dixon is The Walking Dead's first solo spinoff. No other Walking Dead character has led a spinoff by themselves. And that's very true. I mean, Daryl Dixon is that strong of a character to where he can lead a show by himself. I think Daryl Dixon is my favorite character, and he always has been, probably always will be. And I think that's a very good point. I think, Daryl Dixon is probably one of the only characters who could lead a show by himself in the whole Walking Dead universe. Absolutely. Number 8, Daryl Dixon has plenty of longevity. The spinoff has already been confirmed for a third season, and I believe now a fourth season, has been confirmed, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least, we all know a fourth season is going to come. So, yeah, I think Daryl Dixon does have very good longevity, but I also think The Ones Who Live could have had really great longevity as well, or whatever they decide to do with Rick Grimes. Obviously, is going to have just as good or even better longevity than Daryl Dixon, in my opinion, just because of the people around Rick, right? You have Michonne, Judith, RJ, possibly Ezekiel, Gabriel, Eugene, stuff like that, Mercer, right? I mean, there's just awesome potential. Aaron, right? Whoever's around Rick Grimes, I think that show has the potential to be just as long as Daryl Dixon, or longer, to be honest, in my opinion. So, but that is a good point. Daryl Dixon does have very good longevity, but now that season 2 is concluded, I definitely think some people think that the longevity is not going to be as good as it once was. In number 7, we have Daryl Dixon has better connections to the larger Walking Dead universe. Daryl Dixon links to World Beyond and also the main series. And that is true for sure. I think Daryl Dixon does have good links to the Walking Dead universe as a whole, but at the same time, I definitely believe The Ones Who Live has good links as well, especially with Jadis and Gabriel and stuff like that, and just Rick's connection to everybody making it back home. I don't know if I agree with this 1000%. I think that The Ones Who Live has really good links as well. At the number 6 spot, we have Daryl Dixon has more emotional deaths. Character deaths have much more weight behind them in Daryl Dixon. And I would say that this is true, especially with Isabel's death in The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 2. But honestly, guys, I don't know about you, but man, Nat's death and The Ones Who Live really hit me hard, honestly. Pearl Thorne's death wasn't that great. I don't know, man. I think those deaths were really great in The Ones Who Live, but I would kind of agree that Daryl Dixon does have more emotional deaths, right? Number 5, Daryl Dixon is the least predictable Walking Dead spinoff. It's hard to predict exactly where the story is going. And, is that really true, though? I don't know about this one. I'm not sure if I agree 1000% with this. I think Daryl Dixon maybe, actually. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me know. Number 4, Daryl Dixon introduces completely new character dynamics. The Walking Dead's other spin-offs utilize the same character relationships from the main show. That's very true. This is a very good point. This is 1000% true, and there's nothing I can say about this. I 1000% agree. Coming in at number 3, we have Daryl Dixon utilizes zombie variants better than any other spinoff. Variants have a constant presence in Daryl Dixon. I agree with this as well. These points are getting stronger and stronger. The variant walkers in Daryl Dixon, especially in Daryl Dixon Season 2, are actually really awesome to see, and I love that dynamic. Number 2, Daryl Dixon has a very different visual style compared to other Walking Dead shows. The French location adds brand new environments to the Walking Dead universe. This is very true. It is very refreshing with the environment and just some of the cinematic shots that we've gotten. These are incredible, and the visuals in Daryl Dixon are absolutely fantastic. And I would say the visuals in Daryl Dixon are better than The Ones Who Live for sure. But, like I said, there's other aspects that we'll get into later in the video about that. But yeah, I would agree with this point as well. And number one, Daryl Dixon gives more prominence to new characters. Daryl Dixon's new additions are much more important compared to the other spin-offs. So, yeah, they're saying that the characters are just much more important in Daryl Dixon, the new characters. And I would definitely agree that that's true as well. I think that the character dynamics in Daryl Dixon are really, really impressive and really, really important to the show, like Isabel and, Cadrone and stuff like that, right? Those characters are very important. Laurent, right? Those characters are massive and really big to that show. Even Ash, obviously getting Laurent back to America, or not back to America, but to America, right? I mean, those are very big dynamics and very good points. Overall, I would say that Screen Rant definitely has some good points. Whoever made this article definitely has some good points as to why Daryl Dixon is the best spinoff in their opinion. But for me personally, I still would give it to The Ones Who Live, and I think it just has a lot to do with the hype of Rick Grimes, man. The hype of Rick Grimes being involved, and just that story of him and Michonne finding each other again, reuniting. It was the best reunion we've ever had in the history of The Walking Dead, in my opinion. I think Daryl Dixon is a very, very good spinoff, don't get me wrong. But in my honest opinion, I would have to say I preferred The Ones Who Live. The hype, my heart rate was a lot higher during The Ones Who Lived than any episode of Daryl Dixon. You know what I mean? And that right there, that intensity that it brought to the table for me is what really gives it the edge, I think. And the fact that Rick is just in the show. Seeing Rick again after all these years, I love Daryl, don't get me wrong, but we never stopped seeing him, right? We didn't see Rick for 5 or 6 years, and then we finally got him back. And seeing Rick kicking butt on screen with Michonne, having a good time. That was just so special to see again, and it really reminded me of the old days and brought back that nostalgic Walking Dead feeling. And all these points are really good that they made in this article, but personally, like I said, guys, for me, I would say I preferred The Ones Who Live over Daryl Dixon. I think Daryl Dixon's a great show, though. Don't get me wrong. Daryl's my favorite character. I love him to death, man. But honestly, I would have to give the edge to The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. Just for overall quality, overall hype, Rick Grimes being involved, Michonne being involved, the reunion scene at the end with the kids. It was brilliant, man. It really was. And a lot of people didn't like the ending or didn't like that last episode. I really didn't mind it. We knew the show was going to be crazy fast-paced. And, The Ones Who Live had a job, right? The job was to reintroduce Rick Grimes back into the Walking Dead universe and get him back home to set up all these potential spinoffs and all these potential reunions and storylines that they can do with that character. That was the point of The Ones Who Live, right? It wasn't to really have a wonderful, awesome Rick Grimes ending where we never see him again. No, no, no. The job of The Ones Who Live, let me say that again, was to reintroduce Rick Grimes into the Walking Dead universe and show us what he's been doing, to catch us up with him over, the last 5 or however many years it's been since we've seen him, right? To show us what he's been doing and where he's been at, right? That's the point of The Ones Who Live. Reintroduce him, have some reunions with the kids and Michonne, and we got that. Now they can do whatever they want with Rick Grimes. He's back at the forefront. He's back in the lead. He's back on the saddle. Rick Grimes is back. Now they can do whatever they want. That's the point of The Ones Who Live. So I think sometimes when people talk about that last episode, I think sometimes people misunderstand the point of The Ones Who Live, right? And so it's not fair to say oh, this was rushed or this was bad or whatever it is. It's well, that was the whole point of the show, to catch us up with the character and reintroduce him, right? So anyways, overall, personally, I prefer The Ones Who Live, so let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. I really appreciate all the love and all the support. It really means the world to me. You guys have been doing a very good job lately, dropping likes, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and everything like that. Also, I just wanted to say that the Q&A video did really well, and I'm constantly getting Q&A questions, so if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer, drop them down in the comment section on any one of my videos. I always check my comments. And yeah, I will add the Q&A question to the video, and I'm probably going to have another one coming out soon within the next, 3 days or so. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the love and all the support. I will see you in the next one. Make sure you stay safe out there in the crazy world, man. I love you guys. Peace out.